Hey everyone, it's Aaron from Journey to Truth podcast. I'm here at Dimensions of Disclosure 2019 with my good friends Alex Bloom and Simon Esler.
Hello.
Hi.
And Tyler unfortunately couldn't make it to the conference, so he's stuck back in St. Louis.
What's up, guys? How's it going?
Hey, what's up, Tyler?
Yo.
But he's joining us here on this session. So how's it going, guys?
Great.
Going well.
It's been an amazing experience in all respects.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
No surprise, but
yeah.
the ways in which it's amazing is what really catches you off guard.
Yes.
You know?
And for
Absolutely.
those of you who have never been to a conference in person before, it takes the experience of connecting with people like we might on like a Facebook group or our own little clique to such a new level. It's absolutely worth it.
Yep.
People say, oh, it's expensive. I don't know. And I get it. You know, you've got airfare, you've got lodging and everything, but in the end, it is so worth it.
It's so
Not
beyond
even
the
a
money.
question.
So beyond the money.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, I've been watching all the live streams and videos and people posting. I've been envious the whole weekend.
Nice.
Yeah, the live
Nice.
stream for this has been really, really pro. I watched the live stream a
Yeah.
few times. It's been really, really high quality. It's really good.
Yeah, and that's what David Wilcock was talking about that in his last interview. He's like, we got a professional quality, like TED Talk
Yep.
quality live stream for the first time, that, to his knowledge, in any UFO conference ever that's done that. So
Yep.
it's a pretty big deal.
This
Yeah.
has been next level. This conference is like the leading edge. This is where it needs to go. We're pushing all the boundaries in the right direction, and I think next year it's going to be bigger and better,
Yeah.
without a doubt.
Yeah, well, it's so cool because I've gotten to see it grow every year, because I was at the first one 2 years ago called Eclipse of Disclosure, and there was maybe 200 people
Yeah.
tops at
Yeah.
that one, and it was great. It was a nice, small, intimate, conference, and it was amazing. And then the next year they changed the name to Dimensions of Disclosure, and they had it in Colorado, and there was about 400 people.
Yep.
So it literally like doubled in size the next year.
Yep.
And I was blown away by that. And then this year there's 700 people, not including volunteers and staff, and
Plus
Yeah,
the live stream audience.
plus the live stream. There's so many people on the live stream.
And it was sold out, and I know people that wanted to still get tickets, and they couldn't. So
Yeah.
it's gonna grow. This information is gonna become more and more widespread. There's nothing anybody can do about it, so it's gonna grow naturally. It's almost effortless.
I think one thing about these conferences is that because it impacts each individual so strongly, it's almost like an exponential impact, because everyone absorbs the information much more deeply at these conferences than they do in their own personal research.
Yeah.
And so they become like a much stronger beacon for this information. So it kind of helps the information spread exponentially. I think these conferences offer that like huge boost, so that when people go back home, they're much more powerful sources of this information.
Exactly.
And you come home with confidence to spread the information, because it's hard to talk about a lot of this stuff. So you go to these conferences, you get boosted. It's pretty amazing.
Well,
Yeah,
and
it's
confidence
crazy.
in a multitude of ways. And here we are kind of back to the people, right? Because yes, you come back with a lot more information, but you also come back with a lot more connections, right?
Mhm.
Made new friends, you've connected with new people. You feel that confidence knowing that, oh my God, I'm not alone. There are other people. And as I often describe it, like, this is a very unique language that you're learning, and not everyone speaks this language. And so when you can find some other brethren who speaks this ancient Greek form of a language, that you feel less isolated, and that confidence only grows. And then on top of that, you have the information that you're pulling in, and it's a double whammy in that way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's you find your tribe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's what you just said. You find your tribe. It's like your family, when you come here. It's like, man, I've waited like all year to reconnect with my family. Well, me, I went to East Eddie last month with you, and we did there. But you know, it's like so many of us we're either completely isolated or we don't have very many people back at home to really connect with in this way and with this information. And except for Facebook and online, which is why, you know, we're using Facebook to do that, which is amazing. But there's nothing like in-person interaction, connection.
No, exactly. Like when people meet in person, there's a deep exchange. A part of that person is within you forever, and a part of you is within that person forever.
Exactly.
And that's when you consider that on a scale like this, it's hard to even imagine what this is about to do in terms of consciousness and information.
Yeah. Absolutely.
There were points just in the past couple of days where I felt so like tired just from being around the energy that was so high vibe here.
Oh my gosh. Every night I'm just drained.
Yeah. Like there were a few minutes even earlier today,
energy.
I just needed to have some alone time, chill out in front of the sun, and have that kind of recharge. You know, and then you go back at it and you're like, yes, I'm pumped.
Yeah, because as amazing as it is, it can get overwhelming at times with all the energy, and it can be very draining. To us empaths.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
that's right.
And so you gotta kind of like balance yourself and like take it, you know, kind of like watch that and be like, all right, I gotta go recharge for a second and then come back.
You know, and when there are people that are really new to this arriving at the concert, like they really need a lot of energetic support to be like brought into this community and to be held up as they encounter this so intensely. Like it's kind of forceful to really be here for the first time, but to be coming from the periphery of this information. So let's say someone is new to their awakening and then they come to this conference, like they need to be upheld in certain ways. You know?
And definitely the conference provides that.
Yes.
Because you can, the beauty about this is you can literally go up to anybody and you feel as though, hey, let's start a conversation.
Yeah, and it's like you've known each other forever and you can just talk.
And you go dive in real deep, real quick.
Yeah, like immediately. Yeah, it's incredible. Like where else can you do that?
Exactly.
In real life, you know, in the real world.
But you know, because this is the real world.
This is the real world. It's like, that's the fake world. When you come here.
But I think we can take some of that into the world. So the way in which we're here, and it's like, hi, my name's Simon. Who are you? Hey, nice to meet you. We can be doing more of that in the world at large.
Oh, absolutely.
Just really basic human connection. Just literally saying, hi, this is my name. What's your name? How are you?
Right.
As often as you can.
Yeah.
That's huge.
You just can't immediately go into deep conspiracy topics
exactly.
with everyone.
It's more about, like, I look at a lot of the people I've connected with here, it's just been that. It's not necessarily that we had a big conspiracy conversation. It was just like, hi, this is who I am. Who are you?
It's just like,
it's really nice to meet you. And a lot of the interactions have just been that, but they've been human, they've been open, they've been vulnerable. That's right. And so if we can, we're sort of training each other to be authentic in that way. And I think that's another thing that we can take out into the world, right? To get out of all the odd social stigmas that cause us to avoid those vulnerable connections and to be practicing that more consciously.
Because there very much is a great awakening that's happening all over the planet. People are waking up in droves in terms of the world and how plastic it is and how fake it's been and how, you know, whether you go down certain rabbit holes or not is irrelevant. They're just waking up, if nothing else, to their own truths, to their own reality, to the fact that, hey, wait a minute, the way things and the way life works just isn't clicking anymore. It's not jiving. And that initial phase for so many of them as they begin to stir out of their sleep is a sense of grogginess and anger. And you see that everywhere with the rioting, with the people kind of being disgruntled about politics and whatnot. So this is where I think all of us can start, which is just like what Simon was saying about having a heart-to-heart conversation, regardless of what topic you discuss is irrelevant.
That's right. Begin with that basic, that fundamental connection.
Because you can do that with anyone.
Yep. They don't need to be a truther or anything.
That's right.
Yeah.
And one thing I noticed from being at conferences is you hug people as opposed to shaking hands. And when you hug a light worker, the energy and the healing that comes from just that hug actually is contagious also.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah,
totally.
for sure. Yeah, it's really, really powerful. And I think, you know, we also learn things about how to like evolve this kind of conference and how to make it more welcoming to people who are not at all in this place.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to make it somehow more accessible, less of a subculture that might be a little bit threatening to enter.
Yeah.
I think these conferences, as they improve their capacity to market this effectively, to increase the production value, it starts to be more welcoming because it's using those sort of that kind of cultural currency that people outside our community are familiar with. And so they say, oh, I can come to this. Like, look at how high the production value is. It looks like a TED Talk.
Right.
Like, I could
It
probably
lends
come here.
credibility.
Exactly.
It really does. It helps.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we don't have much time, so let's at least get one or two questions in.
Well, okay.
So Dawn Holiday asks, "What are some?"
Hi, Don.
Hi, Dawn.
Hello, Dawn.
By the way,
Hey, Don.
what are some practical measures we can take in our daily
She'll see
lives
this later.
to help bring down the cabal? What are some practical measures?
Learn about memes and make memes.
Make memes.
Yeah.
Under,
Right
and,
off the bat, it's
and understand the censorship that's taking place, the Google censorship, and understand how that works and how we're all being duped essentially. So if you can work around that and not feed into that system, that's a good way also.
Absolutely. Yeah. I would say stop buying into the system as much as you can. Don't try not to support it, you know, with your money, with your time, energy, what you're watching, what you're listening to.
That's right.
Yep.
Because all of that, not only is it supporting it on a 3D level with money and like financially and whatnot, but it's also energetically supporting, because what you're taking in is affecting not only yourself, but the collective consciousness of everyone.
Yeah. Yeah.
And on an
Definitely.
energetic level, we're all connected and we're all affecting each other. So, so the better stuff you can take in, the better you can improve yourself, the more effect you're going to have on the collective in that way.
Yeah, and I want to add that, in my experience, one of the most effective tactics in terms of being disconnected from some of the social programs and the mind control that's so difficult to overcome is to really truly learn to be utterly quiet inside. And when you learn to be totally quiet inside, you really can't be coerced. There's no way for your silence to be manipulated.
Yeah.
And so if you build that tool, it's really effective at protecting yourself and at maintaining the objectivity you need to have proper discernment. So when you can be quiet and observe something, it's much more likely you're going to actually see it clearly and understand what its true nature is.
Yeah.
Great point. Great point.
Beautifully said.
The phrase that's coming to my mind is one that many of us have heard, which says public awakening is their greatest fear.
It absolutely is.
And I think that there's several different layers in terms of what that means. So public awakening in terms of awareness and getting information out. And that's where we come back to like memes. It's a very simple, easy, but extremely effective way at waking people up, because everyone is on a social media platform of some form. And at this point, everybody knows, or at least is somewhat familiar with the meme. And so even if they're scrolling through Facebook extremely quickly and they have nothing to do with the truthing community, but they have friends who are there, they're at least catching some phrases, some concepts, some names, some ideas. And by you doing that, you're planting seeds. I think about with my memes that I make, that you're scattering seeds in the wind and you have no idea where it's going to take hold and what mind it's going to really latch onto and germinate. So that's one layer of public awakening. Another layer hits on what Simon was just saying about an inner awakening that then affects in a public sense, right?
Yeah.
When you can practice mindfulness, for example, when you can do some quieting and just getting in touch with that small, still voice within, that sense of intuition, that sense of knowingness, that sense of, this is where my power is and no one can take that away from me, then you will more easily discern truth from falsehood. And when you're being coerced from a message, when you're getting that spidey sense of this feels off, or there's something about this that doesn't resonate, you honor that, you listen to that, because you've gotten in touch and you've done that inner work.
Yeah, so key. That's so key.
Absolutely. Can I ask you guys a question?
Yeah,
I just wanted to say one more thing, and that is the concepts that we were just discussing of like memes and who we support and mindfulness and going within. This is so simple, right? I mean, these are things that are free. You don't have to pay. You don't have to go to an expensive seminar and fly all over or whatever. Like, that's the beauty of it.
You have to take a bunch of classes and learn a bunch of stuff. Yeah,
exactly.
It's so simple and easy.
Yep.
Yeah, I was going to ask you guys a question before we have to get off here.
Yeah, my battery on my computer is dying actually too. So,
just tell me what's been the highlight of the conference so far. I'm dying to hear about it.
Oh, the whole thing. But to me, just being with this community and interacting with people, and the interactions I've had have been
any new like shocking information or anything that maybe that's what I'm kind of interested in.
Yeah.
Yes,
you wanna
absolutely. I would say that Sasha Stone's talk blew me away in that regard. He revealed information that I had never heard before that was really high quality, like well-sourced information, especially his work with Russian scientists who are building alternative technologies that are like a lot of like life-saving advanced health technologies. He spoke about a Russian group of scientists that have been working with an extraterrestrial for decades now. This extraterrestrial is in the lab with them. It's a green orb being that has been teaching them to build advanced technology, that's been teaching them about the energetic changes that are occurring from our solar system moving into a new sort of stellar cloud, and how that energy is going to open up a window to build new technologies that could not have been built before that. And he showed pictures of the lab with this green orb moving around the lab and the scientists.
Really?
It was really, and he's in touch with these people.
I missed his talk, actually. I'm going to have to rewatch
Huge, incredible.
replay.
Oh, man, that's
Incredible
awesome.
What about you?
Yeah, I mean, there's so much. Michael Salo is a name that kind of stands out. There's so much information there. It was overwhelming.
Yeah.
Just like, wow, it's really dense, but really key,
Yeah.
Yeah. And when David Wilcock and Corey Good were on last night, I mean.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, it was just fun. They kept it fun, but like serious at the same time. And, yeah, and I really like this. David kind of like had Corey go through like how he met Corey and how he like the story there, how they got involved, and how he's like, this is my experience with Corey. This is why I 100% believe he is legit. He's the real deal. And he kind of went through all the points on that. And it was just so great because, a lot of people maybe on the live stream that are still on the fence about Corey, or, I don't know about this blue avian stuff or whatever. Like, they get to hear David's own personal experience about his interactions with Corey and how he's viewing it, and how he is saying, no, he's 100% legit. Like, I'm very careful with that kind of stuff. I'm not gullible. Like, I have verified things over and over. He's said things that no one knew about that I've been holding on to that insiders have told me. He's like so many of the things that he had that Corey would bring up, and he's like, how the heck did he know that? And unless he's legit, unless he really did have all these experiences. So
that's
so cool.
That's so important right now. Like you said, a lot of people are on the fence, and he's getting such a bad rap. Man, poor guy.
Oh yeah, he gets attacked.
Yeah.
It's hard, yeah.
So I'm glad he actually got up there and once again clarified it.
It needs to be done. It does need to be done again and again as the following around this material builds. It does need to be reaffirmed over and over again for new people. That's really important. It's so good he's doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, it's just something. Speaking of new information, I had somebody get a hold of me that found our podcast online or whatever, and just today I talked to him on the phone. He has all this evidence and proof of you know, the FBI being, you know, directly linked to the cabal and all, like the
Yeah, I saw that. I saw the message he sent. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just crazy. This guy, he has proof and documents and evidence, and like he's approaching me about it. So it's so cool to be in this movement, and we're gonna have him on. It should be really interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome. Great news.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, anything to wrap it up really quick? My computer's at 1% battery, so.
All
You
right.
know what? Yeah, thanks for having us on. Thanks for spreading the message and doing the work you guys do. It's really badass, and I look forward to all your growth.
Thank you so much, and thank you guys so much for doing the work you both do. You're both incredible and amazing, and keep it up because you guys are doing some great work.
Thanks, brother.
Yeah.
Thank you. Have fun, guys.
Yeah.
Have fun. Love you guys.
DOD 2019. Bye, everyone.
See you later.
Later, buddy.
See you, man.